Mi'kmaq treaty education is not just about the written text. You know, it is what was agreed by our ancestors more than 250 years ago. But it is much more than that. This has to be in the school system of Nova Scotia, where all Nova Scotians, all the kids in the Maritimes and Mi'kmaq territory learn about our treaties. You know, they will be the future leaders. We always talk about our children as the future leaders. Well, Nova Scotia has future leaders too. And
one day he said, I'm tired of this. You know, if they're gonna catch me, I'm gonna let them catch it. They can charge me, and I'm gonna find out what happens. So that day happened, and I happened to be a counselor, and I remember some individuals coming down from Hunamagi here, from the Union of Nova Scotia Indians, saying, you know, Tom got charged. You know, do you think we should proceed with this court case? And I said, yeah, I think you should. You know, and I think we should see if we can fight this and get some kind of recognition for a treaty right or something. So they did. And it was a part of the Denny Paul Silverboy case. And that's when I first started learning about treaties.
So I just wanted to say that there's a couple of things that I always teach when I do my work. And one is that all of us have to go through a process of what I call deconstructing. We have to deconstruct the European, Eurocentric superiority thinking. Where did they get that thinking? How did they get that thinking? And what is it that we are going to refuse about that thinking? So part of it is to develop the awareness and a critique of Eurocentric colonial bias and racialized negative discourses over time. We also need to examine our Constitution, the laws, the policies, the history, and the differential treatment and resources to Aboriginal peoples to see how colonialism and discrimination, bias, prejudice, discrimination, and racism are embedded within those systems.
That treaty education is part of treaty implementation, or implementing the constitutional imperative. And the province has a key role in the public affairs to now address the Micmac treaties and how they're interrelated and protected all the Micmac way of life through time and now as constitutional rights. So the public has to understand, and the province has to live up to their constitutional obligations of implementing treaties in Nova Scotia in the public school systems.
It is only through the recognition of the treaty relationship that we have been able to coexist the generations of our ancestral Mi'kmaq lands, and it is only through education about our treaty relationship that we can create mutual understanding of all Nova Scotians in future.
When I hear treaty education, I only think of one treaty that I'm aware of, most aware of, and that's the treaty that we celebrate every year, 1752, and that's a peace treaty. And when I heard the conversation by others that there are many treaties in Nova Scotia, that's sort of an awakening for me.
I think it's important that treaties are recognized for all Canadians and recognized that they're protected under our Constitution. But also very important that there's different treaties across Canada, and that students have an understanding that treaty rights are actually rights. Treaties were not made with minority groups or special interest groups. They were made for nation to nation. So I think the basic foundation of what a treaty relationship is very important for students to understand.
Education. These treaties that our people signed back in the whatever days, 1700s, are not only our treaties. These treaties also belong to the people that reside in Nova Scotia, the non-natives, because it was their ancestors that signed these treaties with our ancestors, and because of these treaties, they were allowed to settle. They were allowed to settle into our lands, and also they were allowed to flourish.
We are all treaty peoples. Every person has a responsibility to learn and to teach treaty education to generate a better Nova Scotia for us all.
I'm a treaty person, and we are all treaty people.
We are all treaty people, and we are all treaty people.
I'm a treaty person. I think we're all treaty people.
We're all treaty people.